What is up, Lancers? Welcome back to the Style of Gaming, and welcome to another edition of my Anthem Masterwork weapon reviews. In this video, I'm breaking down the Masterwork Assault Rifle Ralner's Blaze, an incredible elemental weapon viable for nearly every scenario in Bastion. Thank you for everyone who has shown the channel support. If you haven't already, please subscribe, and let's break down the strengths of this amazing Masterwork weapon. For all intensive purposes, Ralner's Blaze is a very basic looking weapon. Like most of the assault rifles in the game, Ralner's has a cloth wrap around the body that goes all the way back to the stock. The gray and white primary color really disguises what this weapon is actually capable of, and I really like that. I said it was basic looking, but in that basic look is this very slick and suave visual that looks absolutely great on any javelin's hip. I found myself sculpting my appearance to accentuate this awesome look, and it's just so worth it. I appreciate the highly reflective aquamarine, kind of turquoise, emeraldish color stripes on the wrap. It's just a nice juxtaposition to the splash of green on this weapon. And the white symbols on the frame are discreet, but really make this weapon pop when you actually investigate it. Ralner's Blaze is a weapon that when you look at it, you can't really get a good idea what this weapon is capable of, but the first time you fire it, you'll quickly realize that this is a weapon to write home about. Ralner's is a fully automatic rifle in the hammerhead class, meaning it fires hard, but a little slower. This is a very consistent and clean firing weapon. However, for a hammerhead, it has very little weight or response when it fires, and you can take that for better or for worse. As a result though, this weapon barely moves while firing, it's very quiet, and it just doesn't emulate the weighted rough fire patterns of most weapons in Anthem, and that kind of bummed me out because I like this weapon, but I ultimately really like the feel of Anthem's firing systems as a whole. But the smoothness opens Ralner's Blaze to be one of the most accurate and long-range assault rifles in the whole game. I find myself able to peg enemies from afar better with Ralner's Blaze than I can with the 4-round burst counterpart Divine Vengeance. Ralner's fires fast, and its Masterwork effect makes it very punchy. Otherwise, you'll see very little force mechanic applied when this weapon hits. It's very soft in its fire and its hit, and it kind of reminds me of an electric supercar. The end result is the same as most supercars, but the loud thrill of getting there isn't the same intense and aggressive experience. Ralner's is great at fairly long range, so you can imagine at close range, it's definitely a beast. It delivers anywhere from 400 to about 2200 damage per shot. Its 30-round mag empties slower than most weapons, and the average reload of roughly 6 seconds definitely compensates and will have you back in the battle quick. I absolutely love this weapon, and the Masterwork ability really makes this even more of a monster. Ralner's Blaze states, it ignites enemies after a hit streak of 5. Boom. It is simple, straightforward, but hot damn is this weapon hot.
So hot.
It's lit.
All jokes aside, I love the elemental weapons in Anthem because they are just so straightforward. Typically all they need to do is hit an enemy and boom, the proc happens and you're rolling in some awesome elemental fireworks displays. Ralner's is probably my favorite in this aspect, tied honestly with Siegebreaker because the elemental procs function as primers. Thunderbolt of Uvinia and Divine Vengeance are definitely awesome weapons, but their elemental proc is a one and done, hitting and that's it, where Ralner's and Siegebreaker open the door for an extreme volley of combos. And I mean, it's incredibly nice because it can be used for any javelin class. It's beneficial not only because it has a solid spray of initial damage, but it kicks it up a notch by being a support primer and have the chance to proc elemental combos. I just can't get over that. It gives you the option to have more effective detonators in place of primers for your gear options if DPS is your priority. I personally roll 2 detonators a lot of the times with Ralner's as the interceptor, priming with the gun and then dashing in to land nasty blows with my detonator. In an attempt to create an all-encompassing weapon tier system for Anthem, I've been classifying weapons based upon their all-around viability, and I would consider Ralner's Blaze a tier 1 weapon, flexible and viable for every scenario up to and including Grandmaster 3. One of the main reasons this weapon gets the Style of Gaming stamp of tier 1 is because how well it serves in Grandmaster 2 and 3. As I've outlined, this weapon is definitely above par for its class and has many proficient stats beyond its incredible Masterwork ability. However, the ability to prime and subsequently cause those combos is at the core of Grandmaster 2 and 3, which makes this an optimal choice for harder difficulty strongholds and legendary expeditions in general. All in all, Ralner's Blaze is an incredibly potent assault rifle that deserves your time and attention. Building a gear and component set to support AR damage and fire damage all together will only improve the extremely valuable skill set Ralner's brings to your squad. I'm looking forward to continued play as it has quickly become one of my go-to weapons and a primary option for any game mode I choose to embark in Grandmaster 2 and above. One of the most important things to note, Lancers, is that once you get into the Grandmaster 2 and 3 difficulty, direct weapon damage is not going to be viable exclusively for taking out those bigger enemies, taking out those Stronghold legendaries, and ultimately taking out the Stronghold bosses. Combos are an absolute must, and so I recommend just deeply that you find an elemental weapon that you absolutely love, and you have that as either your primary or secondary weapon to help influence those elemental combos, even when your team's primers and detonators are on their cooldown timers. Thank you so much for watching, Lancers. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you back here for another Anthem Masterwork weapon review.